You wanted to speak to me, sir? Why, yes, sit down. You were the lead designer for the loot system in Final Fantasy XII, correct? Yes, sir. You said this was about my ideas? It certainly is. Well, what did you think? What did I think? What did I think? What did I think? I loved it. Really, sir, that's very... Yes, it was quite inspirational. Oh, really? Inspirational? Why, certainly. It's the system we'll be using from here on out to pay you. I presume there's no objection to that, considering that you yourself designed this system for maximum player engagement and enjoyment. Sir, I don't think an in-game loot system can be applied to... That's simple. How much do you get paid? About 1,000. But what does that have to do with... Perfect. So, very simply put, at the end of each week, there's a 75% chance that you'll be paid at the end of that week. Wait, but... And when you are paid at that 75%, the amount that you're paid will be randomized between $1 and the full 1,000. Don't worry, I'm sure that it won't ever be anywhere close to $1 for the most part with that kind of range. After all, we'll be using the program you made yourself for the chess in order to determine the random amount. I can't survive on that! And what about the 25% chance? Oh, well, that will be split. You'll have a 50-50 shot. And there's every chance you'll get something like a nice new graphics card, or maybe even a whole new computer, or maybe even a voucher for your entire month's rent. And of course, if you don't want anything that you receive off of that split, you can sell it in order to make up some extra money. That's not so bad. The other 50% is that you'll receive the garbage can that we were going to put out on the curve. There's every chance there will even be some edible food still in it. That's inhumane! I can't sell that! I can't even live off of that! Well, if you prefer, we could give you a nice-looking rock from the parking lot, or your own nuts of rust from the game. After all, they were so rewarding for the players that they should be put in the chest with an equal chance of getting them to any kind of new item. They must be valuable. Or are you suggesting those weren't rewarding and that you're incompetent at your job and should be removed from the industry entirely? Sir, I can't live off this. It's ridiculous. Well, I'm sure your bonus will make up any slack. Bonus? Well, of course. At the end of the year, you'll receive an entire extra year's pay bonus, as well as a computer. Top of the line. Wait, but that's your best weapon in the game? I know! So inspirational. Don't worry. One of your paychecks will negate your entire bonus, but I don't see any need to inform you which paycheck that will be. You should intuitively know which paycheck to not only not take, but not even look at to check how much you'll get out of it. After all, that's what you expected out of the players who paid a lot of money to get our game and then spent over 100 hours to get to the end game. They don't need to know which chest not to open in order to prevent themselves not receiving their ultimate reward. Sir, I couldn't possibly be expected to know that. This is an absolutely draconic suggestion. No one can live off of this system. If you want to die, then you had better do it and decrease the surplus population. Get out of my office, you incompetent palm mama. No, really, that intro wasn't a joke. To begin this review, to whoever designed the loot system, I offer a hearty go jump on building. Your presence it'll have a beneficial impact on the world. Anyone who says the or the world will be better is lying because they feel sorry for how your excuses is. So literally get out. No, you really don't get it. In an RPG-style game, loot and chess is the reward for going through the game. That is especially true in this game. I'll just spoil it now, but the story's predictable and trite. The game doesn't want to player outside menus, gaining new abilities doesn't feel rewarding, and grinding has never been fun in anything. We do it because we have to.
More at 7, Otter.
So what's left? The chest! The chest that you're supposed to open and get new, cool things to interact with the world or protect yourself or do something, even if it's just money to help you interact with the world. And instead, by the end of the game, I wasn't opening 99% of the chests because they weren't even worth the effort. Oh, I gotta go 3 steps out of my way for that chest? Forget that, it's not even worth it. Even when you find a chest that's supposed to give you lots and lots of money, they're still on a randomizer. Did you want that 900 gold? Well, you can eat it with a spoon because you get 7! Chests pretty much never drop as much gold as they should, or even remotely close. So, then you go to town, your equipment is vastly underleveled. You're taking so much damage because you haven't upgraded your armor in 4 hours and your sword is still from the very start of the game. Why? Because there's a roughly 12% chance to get the weapon out of your average chests. Some of those chests can drop as low as 5% chance. Alright, at least that means you're getting useless stuff or money out of the chests, right? Oh, wait! The useless stuff doesn't actually sell for enough to buy anything, and the money is never as much as it should be. The math for playing might work out if each chest gave its full amount, but in real world, it doesn't work! Opening chests turned into a betrayed promise every single time. You would fight not to get your hopes up as you went to open the chest, and yet every time you could feel something in yourself crack a little bit more, as again there was nothing in it of actual worth or value despite that chance because it was put so low. I had a very literal mental breakdown out of apoplectic rage and frustration with this system. I can physically feel my blood pressure going way too high talking about it, so let's move on. Oh, we know I can't because we're not done with the problem. Within the games are several chests you cannot open. If you open any of these chests when you reach the end of the game, the chest that should contain the best weapon in the game will be empty. These chests that cannot be opened are not marked in any way. They are not differentiated from every other chest in the game in any way. You will never know you opened one of them until you've reached the end of the insanely long game and there is no ultimate weapon waiting for you. And here's how easy it is to open the chest. I played the game with the walkthrough at my side. It told me whole way what chests I should and shouldn't open, whether or not it was worth it to go out of the way to grab that chest that's down the hallway. Pro tip, never worth it. No matter what was supposedly in the chest, never was worth it once. But even with this at my side, I opened one of the chests! It was in such a simple place so early in the game that I clicked open before I even thought about it. I was punished for playing the game and exploring. Okay, let's get off the chess. And on to the voice actors. Who hired these people? The Duke, who's narrating the story in particular, doesn't seem like he could be a professional voice actor if he was the last man on Earth with working vocal cords. One of the basic rules of voice acting, buddy, when you pick an accent, stick with it! He jumps accents every couple of words and it just sounds ridiculous. Everything from an American to sounding like the brawny man, or to, I don't know, Irish or some crap. Not that anything he says is really worth listening to. Everything the story tries to play off as big reveals is so stupidly obvious. The Queen is declared dead right at the start of the game. Yeah, no, she's not. You introduce this character in narration, only to declare she died off less than 10 minutes later, still in narration. I'm not 7, Square Enix. We go to the village of the sexy bunny ladies.
Ooh, big reveal coming up. It's...
The 3 main bunnies are sisters.
No, they're sisters. Ooh. Guess who this little kid is?
He's related to the Emperor. Probably a son or something.
Idiot! He's the son of the Emperor! Aren't you shocked?
Look, if I can guess the plot points hours before they happen, can I just skip them and all the grinding between them and just move on to the next one? Please? Oh, what am I saying? There was one plot point that surprised me. Yeah, you got the drop on me. When you see in a cutscene, in the first 5 minutes of the game, one character do something, it's then revealed 20-ish hours into the game, he didn't do that. You saw wrong with your own eyes because this character you've known for literally sub 3 minutes has an evil twin! You can't make the player's own eyes count as unreliable narrators without killing any level of belief the player has in everything that you try to tell them. If that's what you're going for, fine. There are several great horror games that do that. But now I can't trust anything I see happen in the story because Square is willing to do anything just to pull the rug out from under me. Whatever, back to the incessant grinding. But I forgot, you don't actually do the grinding, not really. The big feature of this game, the unique selling point for Final Fantasy XII is the gambit system. You control the characters by setting up complicated gambit systems to tell them how to behave. For example, first priority is that if an ally is under X% health, heal them. Then focus on attacking the target that is attacking your party leader. If there is no such target, prioritize attacking the nearest target. Oh, and one of you focus on casting debuffs on the boss if the debuff isn't applied yet. The game very literally wants you to play the menus and then help it run from fight to fight so it can play itself. In order to facilitate programming the game for the developers via gambits, everyone can learn the same abilities. Because the game wasn't already as bland as stale wheat toast, now there's no real difference between characters. Sure, Balthier is designed as this suave, relaxed gunner, but if I wanted, I could give him a sword and a shield, and instead put the gun on the whiny protagonist Vaughn, or the brave knight, or the inexperienced mage. Anyone can wield anything just as well as any other character. You just have to buy the upgrade. This means receiving new spells doesn't feel rewarding in the slightest either. Hooray! I bought the healing spell! Now everyone can use it! Hooray! I bought the ability to use this sword! Everyone can do it! Even when only one person can get a skill, it lacks any impact. You have to finish this epic boss fight, and then you gain the ability to summon the boss. One team member can use the summon. It doesn't make any difference which team member you pick, just pick one. No playstyle is superior to any other. You can only have 3 people in your party at any given time, but there's much more than 3 people on your team. Now that's normal for an RPG. What isn't normal is that you're constantly under or over leveled. I would be so strong in the previous area that it wasn't even funny. Fights were a complete waste of time, I was never in any danger. Then I enter the next area of the game and I can barely survive a fight with one basic enemy. Time to grind up for a few hours until I can walk safely through this area just to get to the next area where the story actually continues, and I'll have to grind all over again because there's nothing actually in this area other than hard-as Spanish homework enemies and more of those worthless chests. Best part? People not actively on your team of 3 people don't level up unless you use them! So, you don't just need to grind for an hour or 2 in order to get a team that can go through, you need to then grind for another few hours so everyone can go through, just in case something goes wrong. Go into the area, fight an enemy or 2, go back to the area where you're over-leveled and nothing you fight matters, run all the way back to the save point, heal up, run back to the leveling area, fight 2 more enemies, repeat. Even better are the areas where you don't have a save point to run to. Instead, you can heal yourself with white magic spells, because mana infinitely replenishes when not in combat and running around. Want to know the grinding pattern there? Fight one enemy, run in a circle for 20 minutes while your mana slowly refills so you can heal your team. Run in a circle for 5 more minutes so you have enough mana to at least fight. Fight one more enemy. Repeat! Don't you just want to go pick this game up right now? Doesn't it sound riveting? And yet I played 20 hours of this crap! Because it wasn't hard. It felt like it was just turning off my brain whenever I played, and only my spasmodic anger would wake me back up. I stopped streaming or working on my show, dreading the next time I would return to playing the game. Eventually, I would give in, sit down, play a few more hours, and be miserable again. Then, one day, I was driving Flame somewhere, and she confronted me about my lack of any progress on my show and that I was falling behind. And I gave in, and I admitted that I was dreading playing this game, that it was killing any creative ideas I was having. And then I just didn't even want to do my own show because I didn't want to go back to having to play it. She pointed out that I didn't owe finishing this game to anyone. It wasn't even a request. And if it was ruining my life, why should I keep playing? Just because the game didn't truly bar my progress forwards didn't mean I was getting anything out of it. I realized she was right. I was ruining my mood, my passion, my everything to play through this game that frankly didn't even want me to play it. It wasn't rewarding, it wasn't engaging, it wasn't anything more than some moving images. So I put it back in its case and I haven't looked back. I would be highly amiss if I didn't mention that I've heard very good things about the remake of this game, Final Fantasy XII Zodiac Age. Maybe I'll discover it eventually, but for the time being, I think that it's time to move on from Final Fantasy XII and go discover new games that hopefully won't do this to me. Hey, I understand you had some feedback about my loot system.